as you get older, you start to think, I've got to do something before it's too late, you know. And so I thought to myself, well, let's go and see this country from the water. So I bought myself a narrowboat, and then I thought I'll just film it and put it on YouTube and see what happens. And then it's become not successful, so I'm rubbish. So watch an old bloke fumble around the Canal network. Why don't you? Why don't you join me? Come on.
Old Derek here, look, you're travelling the same as me, ain't you, mate? You're travelling around the same as me on his little boat, and it's called Sprocket because the guy was a motorbike mechanic. Oh, can you believe that? What a beautiful morning. October the 7th. Oh, Mr. Vanny's down there. He's seen me. He's wagging his tow bar.
Thank you to someone and Narrowboat Fiddlesticks. Cheers, mate. Both of you. Thank you for buying me a coffee. Really appreciate it. Just saying goodbye here, look.
Got my little GoPro here now, look. Which is, tell you what's a bit hard to use, to be honest, because you've got to keep turning it on and off by using your phone, and you can't video record while you're doing that. Moan, I know. The boat is starting to list a bit now because my pump out tank's becoming rather full, and I need to empty that. Toot sweet and forthwith.
No windows. It's really just got to put windows in it yet, you know. A bit dark in there, isn't it?
It's a lovely little section. This is. Trees are turning now, and it's becoming autumnal. But that sun today is beautiful, warm. What a privilege and a lovely experience. Looks like some kind of something going off over here. There's a boat coming, so I can't really show you that well. Slow down. Dead slow. Single file, give way. Alright, look at this. Something's going off here, isn't it? Single file, it says something's going off here. I'm sure I heard that there's a tree there's a tree's falling or ground repairs. Someone said there's a tree that goes into the water and you get caught on it down here somewhere, so landslide. All I know is landslide. Wow. That could have been it, and yeah, that's it. Oh dear, look at that lot. It's a landslide and all the trees are falling into the water, somebody's telling me. Oh dear. Oh no, imagine your house being there. Oh, I'd be worried about subsidence, what do you call it? Subsidence. I'd worry about that. Bridge number 201. First herring of the day. Hello, herring. Go on, lift off. More like a river here than it is a canal, this section. I can film. I can film while I'm filming this, so I just found that out on that GoPro. Morning! Beautiful, aren't they? Tight bend here. 200. 200. Wow, first time I've seen a 200, I think. The old and the new combined. A reflection of the expansion of humanity. You will shortly be arriving at Anderton Boat Lift. That's what I want to show you. Hey? Ooh, come on, let's go look at it. Look at that through there, look. Wow, it's like they're making bricks or something. Looks like my old boat, Matilda. No, it can't be. Oh, looks just like my old boat. Exactly the same model, same colour and everything. Some kind of, looks like a brick making industry. You've got all your, right below us, look, you get a breach in this, you know about it. Let's go on to the Weaver, shall we? River. Woo! 2-day mooring here. Stanley Arms pub and dining there. Got the Stanley Arms pub and dining. Quality pub food, cast ales, beer garden. Lovely. 48-hour mooring as well, look. Look at this, look. Oh no, it's closed today, for God's sakes. Why don't you check these things, Will? Bloody closed. Tomorrow's raining. Wow, look at the backdrop of that. That factory there. Incredible. I don't know what to do now then. Do I carry on? Because I just started cruising. I don't want to do nothing today. God, amazing.
Oh, what do I do now then? Hello, Mr. Swan. It's having a nice nap there, looking here, eh? So I decided then I can't. So it's a Friday. I thought it'd be the best day. So what can I do? Look, see, it's not open on a Friday. Oh, it's weird, isn't it? So I decided to go up and get a good old pump out, eh? I need it. Full up. Tip break.
These beautiful houses. Aren't they stunners? It's got a motorbike. Oh, I love motorbikes. Aren't they lovely? Bridge 199. Very simple design, look. Slab of steel. Bricks on either side and a bit of brick on top. Effective, solid, beautiful. Oh, lovely! Look at this. Let's get a pump out, hopefully. Beauty rippers.
Those of you who want to know about a pump out, firstly you've got to take this off. You've got a special key. Unscrew that cap there, and you've got to get the pump out machine ready. Put your it's like a hoover, put that into the hole. Then you've got to put your card into the machine, and then you've got to press the button so it's in use. And it's like a big hoover that sucks out all your mornings out there, look, all your fry-ups, all your porridge and your cereals. All gets pumped out, look. Oh, if you look away now if you're squeamish. It's not too bad actually, because it's got quite toilet blue in there, so it just liquefies it all. And across from there you got this Anderton Marina, and the kind chap there was giving me some diesel, topping me up. I thought, while I'm here, empty the pump out and top up my diesel. Oh, fantastic! 35.17 litres, look. The old Anderton Marina. There we are, full marine services, shop and chandlery, boat repairs, dry dock, and all that. Beautiful.
Can you imagine? Oh, I think I'd like to live in that. It's now the next morning, Saturday, the 9th of October. I'm heading to the Anderton Boat lift. Ooh, so excited! I'm just waiting here now for the Anderton Boat lift, and I was going to say, I booked him for 2:30, and I'm just waiting now. There's lots of people waiting here. Look, as you can see, that coach. There's a coach there. Look, they're waiting. So excited, hey? That lift, it goes up and down, you know, the massive cast iron lift. It takes boats up and down. It's amazing. It's one of the wonders of this country. I'm going to go down it. So hey, see you in a minute when I go down it. Well, in a bit, 2:30 I'm going down. So the time is now what, 11 o'clock. See you in a bit.
They run a trip boat here, which is wide beam. And the boat that went down last in the right hand side was the wide beam, so there's no room for a
yeah, I can see it down there. Like, you see it down.
Yeah, that one was it.
That was just come out. Fascinating. Oh, look, well, all the glass the glass ceilings and everything. Yeah, beautiful boat. And the building behind it is salt as well, is it still?
No, it's Tata Chemicals.
It's chemicals, is it?
The main products are soda ash and medicinal sodium bicarbonate.
Oh, medicinal sodium bicarbonate.
The major constituent of any pills you take, drugs.
Ah, all right. Wow. Medicinal, that's the way you say it. It's a hub of activity around it. It's a great place. Yeah.
And it was mainly, if you go back to Roman times, there were salt brine pools.
Didn't they have salt currency? The Romans. I heard that the currency was salt.
So the
so rare.
Were paid partly in salt,
paid in salt,
which is where the word salary comes from. Salis, the Latin for salt.
Wow. Oh wow, that's so interesting. It comes from salt, salary. So word salis. All right. Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so they used to evaporate the brine to get the salt, but over the centuries the salt industry grew and grew. By the beginning of the 18th century, it was really big bucks in this area. But transport was always a problem for them. I mean, they did use the salt towns that are further that way, like Middlewich and Northwich, were using the river weaver for transport. But they were subject to the vagaries of tide, river flow, all sorts of things. And so the salt barons of the local towns thought, well, if we canalise the river, it'll be more dependable.
Yes.
And it'll obviate this need to worry about the tide at the estuary end. So in 1721 there was an Act of Parliament passed which enabled them to canalise the river. And the river itself in those days actually flowed just beneath this embankment, not out there.
Oh right, so it flowed under here.
This is a very steep embankment going down.
Yeah, I've seen that. Has that been built up, that embankment?
No, it hasn't been built up. It's just as it was.
All right.
So the
I'm recording this. Is that all right?
Well, okay.
I'm not filming you. I'm just recording you what you're saying. I can film if you want.
No, thank you. No, the navigation was opened in 1734, and at that time there were 12 locks on it. Now there are less locks on it. There are only 5.
So on the Weaver, there's only 5.
Because over the years, as boats got bigger, they improved the navigation, put bigger locks in to get bigger boats.
Right, deeper locks, you mean?
Yeah.
So it's at least so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now then, later on in the 18th century, there were people like Josiah Wedgwood down in the Potteries area that was looking to improve his transport arrangements. So he was a great advocate and proponent of what is now called the Trent and Mersey Canal, which runs from Shardlow on the River Trent, not to the Mersey. It shouldn't be called the Trent and Mersey Canal. It should be called the Trent and Bridgewater Canal, because
Yeah.
it connects with the Bridgewater.
And that Bridgewater's private canal, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
CRT.
No, it's owned by Peel Holdings.
Peel.
Peel Holdings.
Oh, right.
Right, so Trent Mersey opened in 1777, and so in those days, for Josiah Wedgwood, he was relying on pack horses and wagons to transport.
And the roads were really bad, weren't they?
And the roads were really bad.
Terrible.
And he suffered about 30% brokerage on his pottery, exporting it. He was also importing china clay from Cornwall,
Yeah.
and flint, which is also used in his potteries, from Kent.
All right.
And these were, a lot of the journey was done by sea and river. The River Severn coming up
The estuary up there, yeah.
is near.
I've been down there.
Is near to Stoke as it could get, and then overland.
Yeah.
And the flint from Kent was coming up the Trent Canal as far as it could.
Yeah.
So there was also a great need for moving coal around in those days, because
Huge, wasn't it?
to get 1 ton of salt, they needed 2 tons of coal to evaporate the brine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was coal coming from the South Lancashire coal mines down. There was china clay going down here. There was pottery coming up. There was salt coming up, and there was, again, on the Weaver navigation, there was salt going one way out to Liverpool for export around the country and to the world.
Manchester and
And
Manchester shipping, yeah.
And there was coal coming down, as well as all other goods that moved.
Anything you could put in those
water transport.
Yeah.
But so both navigation and the Trent and Mersey Canal existed together for quite some time. But then,
Side by side, they're not connected.
not connected, but
Would they unload from the Weaver to the canals? All that you draw it up the bank
but
here.
what they found was that if you go from here, say to get to Liverpool docks,
Yeah.
to the big outside ships that go to the big outside world, the boats had to go that way, and they got, as you know, they meet 3 tunnels,
Yes. And they're tight bends as well.
and they had to be legged through,
Right.
and not because they couldn't be. There's no towpath for the horse.
That's why they're so narrow, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had to be legged through, and there was a lot of transport, a lot of boats trundling up and down the Trent and Mersey, so it was very slow going. They had to queue and go through in convoys.
I can imagine, yeah.
And to get through the 3 tunnels, it might take them 2 or 3 days from here.
Yeah.
Then when they got to Runcorn, there were 11 locks to drop down to Runcorn.
I went through Runcorn. I went up to Runcorn.
And then they had to transfer the goods out of the boats, out of the narrowboats, into warehouses or into bigger boats to go across the Mersey to the docks in Liverpool, where again everything had to be handled out of the boat or a warehouse there into the bigger boats for export. Right? So that could take from here to Liverpool docks.
It's a lot of labour, isn't it?
Yeah, it could take 6, 7, 8 days.
Yeah, yeah.
But here, on a good day, what were called either a Weaver flat or a Mersey flat, a big wider boat that took about 4 narrow boats worth of goods, could do the trip from here to Liverpool in a good day in about 8 hours.
Wow.
So that was a big saving
Wow.
in time and money.
Huge saving.
So they started to look is how they might transship goods from the Trent Mersey to the Weaver and save those 6, 7 or 8 days.
Yeah, yeah.
The place that was nearest, where the navigation, the canal were nearest, was here. So this is
Almost touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what they did was actually they opened up a basin from the navigation that came
It's down the basin down here.
around here.
Yeah. Oh, around the bottom of this. Yeah.
Around the bottom of this slope, and they put in what were called chutes.
That makes sense.
Salt was shoveled out of the narrowboat into like a barrow, taken out, and then dropped down a chute at 45 degrees
Wow.
into a boat down beneath.
So from this canal to a basin down underneath here, they just drop it straight into the boat. It makes sense.
Down a chute.
Yeah.
And for the vulnerable things like pottery, they had inclined planes where the truck would be gently lowered down. They didn't just let
Yes,
the
let it go.
pottery fall down through.
No. Like a lift type
No,
thing.
all this took, again, a lot of manhandling, even though labour was cheap in those days.
Yeah.
And it took time. So they did think about how can we speed up and get a better connection. Now they did think about inclined planes that could take a boat from the 50 feet drop from here down to there.
Yeah.
But that
They use that type of thing in Foxton Locks.
yeah, they did it in
Yeah.
Foxton, yeah.
Yeah.
But the geography of this area was such that the orientations weren't right, and it was difficult.
It's too
and there-
steep.
And there was steam power required, and it was ruled out. They did consider putting locks in, but again, because the embankment here is so steep, there wasn't enough room to build locks in.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the Trent Mersey weren't keen on losing water, because every lock movement down released water from
And
here
they were very, very.
down to there.
They like keeping their water. They didn't want to shear it.
Well, it cost money.
Yeah.
They had to build
Pumping.
reservoirs and things up in the hills to feed their
canal system.
canals to make sure they were topped up. So they didn't want to lose water to there. So then they came up with the idea of, well, let's have a vertical lift. Now, by that time...
So what was this, around about 1850?
Well...
1860?
1860-ish.
1860-ish. Wow.
By that time, here, as well as an L-shaped basin there, they'd opened up another basin on that side.
On that side there, yeah.
On the other side of where the lift is now.
Okay.
And effectively it left an island out there.
Oh, right. What,
Yeah.
silt? From silt?
No, where they hadn't excavated basins.
Oh, okay.
And so there were loads of chutes and inclined planes and everything here.
They were trying different things to
all
get...
the time. So they thought, well, we'll try a vertical lift. But the only place they could put a lift where it would drop boats into the canal was out on the island.
All
It was
right.
out there, adjacent to the navigation.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why there's this aqueduct.
Oh,
'Cause
right.
It used to go across the basins that were underneath.
right.
Now they're filled in, apart from the one on the right-hand
So
side.
it takes you over... This would have taken you over the water to the island.
to the island, and then they could drop
and
down into the
put
canal.
the foundations there, yeah.
And now the first lift, well, it was 1871, the Act of Parliament was passed to build the lift.
All right. Let's go through Parliament then, so it's pretty serious.
Yeah. And it was opened in 1875.
75.
Very, very simple one. There was just 7 support columns, guide columns, and 2 252-ton caissons interlinked hydraulically.
Yes.
Going up and down.
Going up and down, yeah.
But I told you earlier that they had all this problem
The
with
rams.
with rams,
Iron.
and
Corrosion from the water.
corrosion.
Yeah.
I mean, they did funny things to it, like, where it got grooved, they hammered in copper into
All
the
right.
grooves
All
and
right.
smoothed it off.
Yeah.
But because then you had 2 dissimilar metals, in an acidic liquid. There was a lot of electrochemistry went on.
So
and
the
you
river
got
was
this
acidic.
enhanced corrosion
Right.
with that, and that's when they then went to the distilled water that I told
Yes,
you about
yeah.
earlier. But they still had these problems, which is why again they built the lift.
So we're back here now, and it's still here 140 odd years later.
Yeah,
And it's still a fascinating
and
thing.
a lot of the steelwork is the original 1875 steelwork. I mean, the caissons that you're going to ride down on today are still the 1875 tanks.
My God, they can't improve on that either.
Yeah.
I'll turn this off now, but I don't know. The chap talking was Morris, bless him. And they do all the tours around here for a £5. You can see all the engine room and all the hydraulics and stuff. Fascinating.